Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Rhianna.
Hello!
And the newest reporter on the scene, Luna.
Luna has toe biting to report. She is biting her toes.
Today we are going to be doing a Talking Tellest where we talk tales of the taverns. Tavern tales.
Tavern tales.
We decided we were going to kind of like improv the kind of things that you might hear in a tavern in the Tellest universe.
Right. Using like characters, races, locations that you might find in Tellest, but we really just want to kind of improv our way through today and make up some fun, weird stuff. It might be some cool stories. It might be some, let's say, drunken stories that make no sense whatsoever.
They might also be
at a tavern.
Super lame because we're not super great at improv
No,
yet.
we're not great at improv, but it'll be fun to try.
Mm-hmm. So how do you want to start today?
Well, like we were kind of talking about, I think there's a few different ways we could go about the improving.
And we'll do several of them.
Let's start with a little exercise where we each say a word and sort of bring like a prompt sentence into a what if sort of scenario. And for those who don't know, what if is when we usually are on car rides and we try and figure out what happens with a character. Like, well, what if they do this? What if they do that?
Mm-hmm. So I heard we'll each do a word. I also heard prompt in there.
Like the sentence will be the prompt. Like the sentence that we come up with will be sort of the prompt.
So I brought up this little timer thing. We don't have to play this way if you don't want.
I think it'll be fun. You just have to say a word within
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
So if you want, I'll let you start.
Once.
There.
Was.
A.
Pig.
Who.
Loved.
His.
Wizard owner. No, wait, wizard.
2 words! 2 words!
Wizard.
Lover.
So.
Much.
He.
Liked. Trip.
He liked a trip?
So much he liked a trip.
To.
The.
Circus.
With.
His.
Wizard. Alright. There's our prompt. There once was a pig who loved his
wizard. So much that he went to the circus with his wizard. Alright, so what about this pig?
You did wizard owner. It was wizard lover. Because
lover.
This is what happened. This is what happened.
That's why
you cheated, and I changed it on you.
Alright, so maybe the wizard is bad at transmogrification and turned his wife into a pig.
Oh, that is fantastic. Okay, so I've got a tavern up. It doesn't have to be any tavern from the Tellest universe or anything, but for the sake of explaining what this map is, we've got a map for Hidden Harbor, which is a tavern that we introduced in Wild Magic, which was the third ancestral magic book that stars Adelia and Gaston, and yes, the transforming magic wielding wizardess, Lucinda. So it is a fun kind of twist on that to have someone who accidentally transformed his wife into a pig.
So who's telling? Is it Lucinda telling the story?
Oh, I don't think so. No? I think this is. So I think behind every good tavern tale is the potential for it to be BS, right? Like Lucinda's well learned, so she knows whether or not something's real.
So her tales are more likely about herself. And
she's going to go into details about the stuff that she's done and experienced and stuff like that.
Did you say Hidden Harbor?
Yes, this is Hidden Harbor, but it doesn't have to be the tavern.
But is the harbor like a seafaring?
Yes, yeah. Area? The whole aspect of Hidden Harbor was that it was built to be a trading town.
Okay, so maybe this is a drunk pirate telling the story of
for sure. If this is the tavern in question, there are going to be plenty of drunks here. Right. And I would imagine it's someone who's like, oh, I've heard a tale.
I've heard a tale of a man a wizard who turned his wife into a pig.
Mm-hmm. Sleeps with her in bed and everything.
They went to the circus, and the circus tried to take his wife.
They don't do anything unnatural, from what I've heard. So the way that I'm trying to think of...
the wife almost ran away with the ringleader.
No. She ran away from the ringleader. He was saying he was going to cook up some bacon.
Oh.
So I imagine if we are going to be doing this little episode, it would be fun to also incorporate like the possibility of it being like a D&D sub-quest, you know, like a little like side story that you could experience. So it's not like something that you would just hear for no reason, right? Like, so either there's a kernel of truth in something, or it's like an adventure that can kind of spin off from this. Like, you know, you could ask the sailor or the pirate or whoever, like, well, you know, like, can I get more information about that? Where was this wizard and his pig wife? Where were they located? So, I mean, where's the rumor originate from? Like, where do they hear this? Do they hear this at sea because there's nothing else to do, or
maybe they went to a strange port where like magic was abundant and a farming village or something like that.
Okay, so they were dropping off product or picking up product.
They were picking up supplies for the provisions for their seafaring voyage, and they noticed a wizard, or somebody saw a wizard basically pick up his pig and smooch it on the snoot. So it could very well be just someone who had a beloved pet pig.
I know this pig.
Because we give our doggies nosy kisses all the time. Mm-hmm. I would imagine someone who had a pet pig would do that.
So in this situation, this is just a rumor. Probably not a good way to found it. But what if it was a situation where this was real? And what if the wizard was not the one responsible for turning his wife into a pig, but he thought he was? And the pig wife has been trying to communicate with him, and he just thinks it's the cutest thing. Oh, she tries to do all this stuff. She's like lining, like Charlotte's Web, but from the pig perspective. She's putting like letter blocks. For some reason, my pig wife really likes these colored blocks that are supposed to be for toys. Who am I to say no? What's red rum?
Oh my god. Maybe she's pissed because he's so much happier since she only squeals and doesn't yell at him anymore.
So naive, this poor wizard. So all right. So pretending that this is a scenario where like adventurers could come and help and everything like that. First of all, let's try and tackle it from the perspective of like if you were doing a D&D adventure like this. The adventurers are curious.
Right.
They go to check this out. They notice right away that this pig is 100% not just a pet pig.
Right. Like, it's somebody trying to communicate.
The pig is like excited as anything. Like, these people have arrived. I can finally communicate to someone who's not an idiot.
Oink once for yes, oink twice for no.
And I imagine that what happened was the wizard was beset upon by a rival wizard. The wizard thought, well, like, I'm a powerful wizard. Like, I have to watch out for people who would try and, like, cast magic on me. And they tried to turn the wizard into a pig, but, like, his protective spells made it so that the next closest target, who was his wife, was the one who got transformed.
I like that, too. Or it could be maybe she was the one dabbling in some kind of magic, and she was, like, trying to cosmetically make herself, like, more beautiful. Like, she wanted, you know, more pink, rosy cheeks, like pinker skin, and pink, soft skin, and it ended up being a pig.
I like the idea of it being, like, any of a number of different ways to try and, like, pursue a story that has a start. Like, this is very much the fantasy writing prompt way of doing things, where it's, let's give you something basic and then see how many different ways we can expand upon this story. So, like, I can totally see someone who, his wife is like a novice when it comes to magic, right? And she's just like, well, I'll just look over his books. Like, perfectly normal
Yeah.
for me to just read a couple of passages.
I can do this.
And then all of a sudden she's got a curly tail.
We kind of passed over the circus part of it. Maybe the adventurers have to find this pig. Maybe they were captured by the Cirque du Malorum, both of them.
Yeah,
like
the wizard
set of
and
them.
the...
Yep, so you have to kind of, not only find out the truth of what happened, but communicate with them and save them from the circus, which they are now sideshow freaks in.
It's true.
And in Tellest, we have the Cirque du Malorum, which is most likely it's a traveling circus, so we'll say it was a situation like that.
Yeah, they could, you could have a whole freaking adventure, a whole campaign about finding this wizard and his pig wife, and, like, tracking them down first, then finding the way to break the spell, and then finding out the rival who did this to him. It could be your entire adventure.
So what would we call it? The tale of the swine lovers.
Swine lovers. Of wines and swines.
Of wines and swines. A tale of wines and swines.
A love story.
I love it. All right, successful.
One tail down. How did you want to try and tackle the second one, or did you want to do the same thing?
So I was thinking we could give each other the same sort of parameters, and we have to kind of off the cuff come up with something. So maybe we pick a location.
Okay.
A race, like what type of character they are within Tellest.
I don't know if this is going to be logged in or not. No.
We can pick a item and a word at random.
Do you want to pick stuff off of the Tellest website as far as like items and stuff?
We can do that.
My password is never remembered when it comes to World Anvil, so I'm giving up on that.
Okay.
All right, let's go back to the Tellest website. We'll go to the art gallery. So you wanted a place?
Yep.
So many pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So pick a number between 1 and 10.
3.
So we're going to go to Savion. Savion is where Kayonani is from.
Okay.
It's where like a lot of the Rhinotors are from. And then north of here, I think it's Balthion, is the capital city in one of the kingdoms.
Okay.
Sorry, I heard a doggy noise. Where Lila and Rectress and Seeker are from. Okay. So again,
got
another port city with some taverns and stuff there. Okay. Let's go back to the art gallery. You said a place, a
race of like a type of being within.
Do we have any concept art pieces easily found? I need to do the same thing with this one as I do with the other road gallery. So you can just click at the top and it takes you to where you need to go. I definitely thought that I had concept art of the races.
Pick anyone that you want.
Yeah, well, we've got a couple of pictures here of the races.
Right.
So which one do you like?
No, you pick. The point is, you gotta challenge. Like you give
gotta
me the ones. Challenge me to figure out a scenario.
What about a Rhinotaur, since we're in Savion?
A Rhinotaur in Savion. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you need an item.
Yep. An item.
Let's see. We got some treasures. Let's do this boot.
What's the boot do? Is it
let you walk on water?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then give me a word.
A word?
Like a descriptive word or any kind of.
Saucy.
Saucy? All right. Let me think now. So we have a Rhinotaur in Savion, and we have. Do the boots have a name?
They're the Boots of Hedorian.
The Boots of Hedorian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So in this story, we're going to be in a tavern up here, like in the harbor town.
In the harbor town, because the Rhinotaurs are typically from like down here, but they're not opposed to making pilgrimages.
Right. Okay. So They're going to tell the tale of a... Oh, give me a name, too. Let's give me a...
Do you want an actual name of someone from...
Anyone's name.
Rexa.
Rexa?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a Rhinotaur lady? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so...
You want me to give you some details?
Some art,
would you like a picture?
Yeah, let's get a...
I'm going to tie in some...
Quantum Quest stuff?
Uh-huh. Nope. No, I'm not.
Okay.
The picture is dead.
All right. So, this person is telling the story of Rexa, who is a Rhinotaur warrior.
Thief.
Warrior thief. A thief who was tasked to steal the boots of Hodorian. But the problem is Rexa can't swim, and the boots were located on an island. So she had to find a way to get to the island, steal the boots, and when she got to the island, she decided not to bring the boots back to wherever she was going. She just kept running toward the middle of the ocean. So the legend says.
She just kept running and running and running.
Dodging waves and jumping over them all the time.
I like that for Rexa.
That's a good story for her.
Rexa is one of our Quantum Quest characters. She, I think the dialogue on her card is... no, it used to be, you've heard of a bull in a china shop.
I like that.
Um,
So with this one, let's what if it a little bit. So what if she was tasked essentially with like a thieves guild, which ties into our last episode. She was tasked by our sneaky last episode. She was given a, basically your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to steal the boots of Hodorian from an island guarded by Naga.
I like it. I also like the idea that like she was sent on this quest to like just take her away from the guild, because again, like her history is
she just messes
stuff up like every time she tries to do something. So I imagine like the Thieves Guild is like, let's just send her there. There's not actually any boots there,
and there's no way she's gonna come back.
Right, like there's no way she's gonna find these things if they do exist. And if they do exist, like, well, number one, she's not going to be able to wear them. Like,
we'll send her out on a rickety raft. She can't swim. She's probably never going to come back. So they send her out there. She does happen to, let's just say the boat that she's in has, like, a hole in it, and she manages to, like, she uses her horn to block the hole at the bottom of the boat, and shows up just face down to the island.
Oh, and the Nagas think that when she shows up that she's worshiping them.
Oh, like, I like it. And they're like, reverence at last.
Let us shower you with gifts. Here, you can have this old boot.
Right. And so she realizes, like, the boots have magical properties and they'll fit any foot, basically. And she's never had a boot in her size. She's a size 27 male.
With a round foot for some reason.
Foot.
I like the idea of her, she's dumb too.
Oh.
She doesn't realize that it's a boot. She thinks it's a necklace. She thinks that the shoelaces go around her neck.
That's real derpy. I love it.
She is what happens when you roll the lowest score in intelligence and wisdom.
I love it. So she intends to go back to the Thieves Guild, but goes off in the wrong direction and just
she's
keeps
supposed
walking.
to go west and she goes east. I also like the idea of like when she's trying to like plug up the boat, she has no idea where she's going at that point, and she lucks into...
She just drifts onto the island.
Yeah.
Or a surrounding island, and the Naga are the ones that like guide her to it. But I like this being a funny seafaring tale where they're like, if you go that way, you'll see a rhino walking on the waves.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it's like, it's just an old wives' tale. It's like the tale of the sea-bound Rhinotaur. And I like the idea of like, oh, this is even better because of the quote-unquote reverence that like she showed the Naga have like come to like respect her and love her and everything like that. So they like follow her around and
like
provide her with sustenance, so that this
cute.
weird pilgrimage that she's on, where is she going? We just don't know.
She doesn't know either. It's like a Forrest Gump situation where she just keeps running. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the tale of the seafaring Rhinotaur?
Mm-hmm.
Or the sea-walking Rhinotaur?
The water-walking Rhinotaur.
The water-walking Rhinotaur. I love it. Alright, 2 tails down. Now I give you a location. I already know the location I want to pick.
Okay.
Specifically, Wispus's Manor.
Okay.
I think that'll be fun. The race we're gonna go with is...
Do you want me to pick up a bunch of them so you can take a look?
Yeah. Let's go with...
Got a bunch of them up here. So there's a decent set of our races.
Wait. Giant.
Giant?
A giant in Wispus's Manor. I love this already.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Is it a... So we've got a couple of different giant folk in the Tellest universe. And it's...
Frost giant.
Okay, a frost giant.
Frost giant in Wispus's Manor.
Okay. So, item?
Scoot down to the items. Let me see what you got.
Scoot on down!
Scoot down to the items.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna do the...
Oh. Fancy. We're gonna go with... What's the lantern do again?
The lantern?
Yeah.
This one here?
Yeah.
It's the ghost light lantern. It basically does the opposite of what a lantern is supposed to do, and it makes the wielder disappear.
Oh. No. What about the cup? What's that do?
The cup? It is the bloodthirst goblet. It's it basically turns you vampiric when you drink from it.
That's no fun. Let's do...
Oh, Dark Nightmare says I have to hydrate.
Ah.
We both have to hydrate.
Okay, we got this.
We got this. We can drink.
Okay, the object is going to be the mouse. Mert.
Mert?
Yeah, it's Maximus's mechanical or steampunk mouse.
One of Maximus's mices.
We're drinking. We promise.
We drank it.
It is water.
It is water.
Yep.
It could be grog. It is a tavern episode.
Yes. All right. Imaginative grog. Okay, so that is the object, and then the word is going to be.
I'm gonna get us a giant too while we're at it.
The word is going to be... Oh, I didn't really incorporate saucy into the last one either.
We still did a very good... we put together a good story.
Okay, the word is accident.
Accident. Dark Nightmare says, how you guys doing? We'll take a little pause to...
We are doing pretty good. We are just improving through this episode for Tavern Tales.
Figure we're improving through life. Why not extend it to the Tellest universe?
We are improving through life. Yep.
How's about you? How's things going? Give it a little break. And I'll use this opportunity
to think.
To noodle.
You get a noodle break. That's fine. Alright, so to recap, it is Wispus's Manor.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, Wispus's Manor is a very tiny, tiny little village where everyone has been shrunken down.
Yes, yeah. So Wispus had a mansion. When Westwick was attacked by the nation of Blacklane, he decided that the best way to save everybody and keep them safe was to bring everybody to his massive home, shrinkify it, have it hidden within the trunk of a fake tree.
Right.
And
then essentially, a donut would feed all the people for for a month.
They Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. The situation. Things are going good, at least when it comes to D&D. I got some twisted ideas for my campaign.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's always good.
Well, you can get some more twisted ideas for our stories. All right, so am I able to ask you questions about these things? So, is Mert just a side product of the story, or is it something that the giant is looking for?
That's for you to answer.
Oh, well, I was trying to ask you.
No, that's you for you. All right, well, so then fine. It is the central object of this story.
Okay,
in whatever way you want.
So my idea is, do you want to give my giant a name?
His name is Gunther.
Gunther?
Gunther the giant.
Okay.
Gunther the frost giant.
Frost giant.
Frost giant.
So Gunther, the frost giant, has he's the last of his tribe. Mert. Is this a Waterdeep setting? It's not. It's not. Mert is just a product of the Tellest universe. He's one of our Tinker's favorite items that he ever made. And at this point, I think in the Tellest universe, Mert is like a Mark III or something like that. Like, he keeps on making adjustments to Mert.
He could be used in Wispis's Manor as a means of transportation if you turn
It's
that,
true.
you know,
Yeah.
like a mechanical means of
He's a bumper
around.
car.
He's a bumper car. He's a little bumper car.
So Gunther is the last of his tribe. He's looking for the place that will be his funeral cairn, and he's walking across.
Oh God!
He's walking across the plains of Draconis, and finally decides he's just going to go into this random forest, and happens to draw a little too close to the magic
of Wispis's
Manor, and Wispis, in his infinite wisdom, thinks the only way to protect everybody is to enact the magic that's taken hold of everybody. So he shrinks Gunther down as well, and Gunther finds himself within the radius of this fake tree, and all of a sudden the tree looks gigantic, and all the other trees around him looks gigantic. He sees this mansion inside, wonders what witchcraft is afoot. This man walks out, who's everyone's to scale. So he's still a giant to him.
But he's the tiniest he's ever been.
He's the tiniest he's ever been, and does not realize what is exactly going on. He ends up thinking, like, the birds that are flying by, like he's entered an enchanted forest where everything has grown. He thinks that he has died.
Okay.
Because, of course, in giant heaven, everything is giant.
Right.
Including, as it turns out, this gigantic clockwork mouse that Wispis has brought out of the mansion to bring the giant in and bring him further along into the mansion. So
like it. So that's the mouse is sent to pick up Gunther.
The new arrivals.
Right, and then Gunther is brought in on his mechanical mouse. I love it. So
thinks that it is a battle mount.
Okay.
This is like his Valhalla.
And he's just going in, I'm going into the light.
Mm-hmm. A
Where
giant,
are my brethren?
A giant leaf has fallen from the trees above before he gets to go into the mansion, and he just strips the greenery off of it, and it's a jousting lance.
Whilst on top of the mouse.
Show me your champion.
I love it. All right, so it's the tale of the tiny giant.
Little giants.
The little giants. I love it. So who's telling the tale? Is it someone who frequents the Wispis Manor as
so
they bring them supplies and stuff, and
they
have to up the amount of supplies for
there
the giant?
is a tavern in Wispis's Manor.
Okay, I like that.
So Scott was at one point writing a story that was like wackadoo in the best of ways, and I'm sad that it hasn't been completed, because it would have been an awesome story to include in the Tellest universe. I think he got a little discouraged because we were like redoing the timeline, but like it's basically the MCU, like it's a multiverse, like, so I hope that he doesn't give up. I hope that we get to see it at some point. It was the third story in his to be whatever, because he had to be a monster and to be a hero, or to be a villain, and I think there was going to be to be a hero. But anyway, so there is at one point with Wispis's town that he was the mayor of had a tavern that Prodigy destroyed. The tavern keep needed a bar, so he's got a bar in Wispis's Manor at this point. And like Wispis's Manor, for better or worse, has become kind of like a travel hub as well.
Yeah,
so
why not? If you can go and shrink down and have like
Mm-hmm.
It like everything, all your resources at that point are magnified, so
Yep.
you're not wanting for anything,
Including the grog.
including the grog. Yeah, 1 cup of ale is a barrel enough to feed the town.
Mm-hmm. So I would imagine that the giant comes and goes now. Like he's become like a fan of the. That was his introduction, but like he's not as naive as he used to be, and the thing that he thought was going to be like his doom was like it was so mundane that like Wispas was like, no, like you just need to like rub a little ointment on this, like you're fine. Like
I like that.
my arm was real sore and I thought I was gonna die.
I like even better him asking Wispus to keep him tiny and let him keep the mouse, and he just goes off from the woods. It's like a giant, but he's like Barbie sized.
Right. It's like everybody else is like the tiny GI Joe and he's the big GI Joe.
I love it. And maybe eventually another tale is told where somebody's telling the tale of the little giant and he has him in his backpack as proof.
I caught this one. I caught this child. Not a child.
I'm a mighty warrior.
Okay. Do you want to do? Oh, hold on. So Dark Nightmare says my latest inspiration has come from an animated film called Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, I love Howl's Moving Castle.
Ghibli. I'm going to be creating homes and buildings that walk on their own, and their doors can teleport to different locations.
I like it.
Tricky stuff.
Very cool.
Talking about the multiverse and
exactly.
Interdimensional travel and stuff like that.
We love that. I mean, if it's a sci-fi fantasy mishmash.
Trope. Yeah. Do you want to tell any other tavern tales before we wrap up for the night?
Yeah, we're gonna use a fantasy writing prompt, and we'll come up with one together. Because it was a together one, it was a me one, a you one, and now we'll do another together one.
I like it. Let's see. What's the easiest way for me to
all
get into
of these are
prompts?
canon, by the way. This has now all happened in the Tellest universe, whether or not it's 100% true.
So here's the latest prompts, and I think we can go further if we need to. Okay. So this is way outdated because I let the website go a little bit.
Let's just pick one at random. You want me to pick a number between 1 and something?
Yes.
Okay.
Between 1 and 100.
Ooh, let's go 23. Well, you would have been pissed if I picked like 80 something.
Might have, could have. 23. Orc. So here is the full prompt.
Okay.
The orcs of Tellest are known for their vigor, their strength, and their desire for glorious battle. Most orcs perish at the end of a blade or a club, fighting for what they believe in. But what happens to an orc whose fighting days are behind them? Write about an orc who has earned a respite and what they do with their time. Now, that's the basic, very broad context of what you can do. Okay. If you go to the 100 Fantasy Writing Prompts book, we have all this stuff too, where we present you with ideas and questions and also a challenge. So we're going to go through the ideas and questions, and then we're going to do the challenge version of this.
Okay.
So the ideas and questions, perhaps after countless years of destruction and removing life from the world, the orc is looking forward to the art of creation. They might take up a skill like carpentry or blacksmithing. Perhaps the art of creating weaponry or armor for the next generation of warriors keeps them close to their history without involving them in it as much. Maybe the orc was not ready to stop fighting but had to, due to age or injury. You could explore an orc who lost the ability to join in combat and reluctantly returned home. Did this orc always want a life of battle, or did they have hobbies or interests that they enjoyed prior to picking up a weapon? Though a life of battle initiated by the orc may be behind them, they might have left chaos in their wake. Is there anyone who is after the orc in revenge for something they might have done before? Does the orc have a family that they are trying to spend more time with now that a possible opportunity has arrived? Or if they don't have a family, does this newfound respite offer them a chance to explore that and possibly find someone to settle down with? And our challenge is going to be, when all the battles one faced stopped unexpectedly, they still might be unable to escape them. Is the respite that the orc expects really there, or are they always lured back to thinking about their time fighting?
Okay, So this reminds me a little bit of that cozy fantasy Legends and Lattes.
The tavern,
Yeah,
the tavern one.
Yeah, essentially. So like they stopped their, they chose to stop their battle hardened life and open up a little coffee shop. But in this scenario, it sounds like they wanted to continue what they were doing, but something stopped them. So,
and I know exactly what it is.
What is that?
Their eyesight began to diminish with age.
Oh, they can't see very well anymore. I like that. All right, so let's say it's an old male orc.
It was the war chief.
The war chief,
and they were challenged.
So he's trying to spend his time looking for a good optometrist who can give him glasses. So he goes to a gnome village to try and see if they would he's trying to find like inventors basically to go and get corrective lenses essentially so that he can go back to battle.
Again, we're gonna do some questioning here.
Okay.
Is Mr. Orc here, is he upfront about wanting to get back to battle? Or is he like, no, I would never?
he's no, I would never. I'm just trying to. I just want to see the sunrise and the blood of my enemy. No, I mean like, the leaves change.
But aren't you Garthak the Destroyer?
Oh, that's a distant cousin. Garthak the Destroyer.
You have tattoos of bleeding skulls on your back.
Is that what they are? I couldn't see. I like this. This is a good tale.
So, there's another problem.
Garthak the Destroyer's Quest for Glasses is the name of the tavern tale.
The quest for gnomish goggles.
The quest for gnomish goggles.
And I very much like the idea that there's a whole other complication when he gets the corrective lenses, because the orc ends up looking like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys.
I love it. Is he the one
Stop making fun of me!
Is he the one that says, I believe you have my stapler?
No, that was the guy from Office Space.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm imagining like the big eyes, and he just looks absolutely ridiculous.
You know what? He uses that as a distraction tactic. I
like it.
I like the idea of like It's kind of a strain, right? He's wearing these thick corrective glasses. He's not used to them. Mm-hmm. When he wears them, it obviously does what he needs them to do. But like,
I'm so sorry. I need to say this. He requests little windshield wipers for the blood.
If you're gonna get something, get it done right. I imagine he doesn't show up with the goggles. Like he gets to the field of battle. He's disappointed in his tribe because they let him walk off into the sunset. So he's going on his own battles and challenging his own enemies.
They're essentially saying like you're dishonorably discharged because you're choosing not to die in battle and go on this ridiculous quest.
Right. But I imagine like he meets with enemies on the field of battle, still challenges like the top dog because that's the honorable way to go, mm-hmm. right? Like you're not going to like suicide yourself, unalive yourself, whatever, by going into battle and knowing that you're going to hurt yourself. It's right. I want to come out on top. So he goes there, no goggles in sight, and then all right, wait a second. And I just imagine the other dude like still blood from the last one. And I imagine while his enemies are doubled over laughing, that's when
I love it. Alright, that's a
Garthak the Destroyer and the Quest for Gnomish Goggles.
I love it. We need to do another episode like this. Yeah. I love it. We've created a lot of like
the Tavern Tales is going to be a series.
Yeah, I think Tavern Tales Part 1 is this one. I had a lot of fun making stuff up with you.
High five.
Woo!
All right, I think that's 7:41 is a perfect time to start wrapping things up. So let's get the show closing page up. So, do you want to do the show closing monologue?
No, that's not for me.
It's
That's for you.
it's not for me. So, folks, on the screen right now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest out there on the internet. Tellest.com is a great first place to start because you can find all the projects that we're working on. And in addition to that, you can find the Tellest Art Gallery, which is where we used a lot of the ideas that came from this Tavern Tales episode. We've also got a couple of places that you can find a lot of our stuff out on the internet that are kind of like broken into pieces. So patreon.com/Tellest is where you can find a lot of our art as well, and some of our maps. We've got 170 maps or something like that right now on Patreon. You can get them all for a very low price. It's, you pay once a month and then you're done. If you want, you can go to tellest.etsy.com when we have the physical maps back up once our print partner is back up. If you don't want the maps, you can find Rhianna's one-of-a-kind handcrafted magic wands there. If you do want to zip back to the maps, though, you can go to battlemapfantasy.com and you can get the digital versions of those maps in an a la carte form there. We also don't have it up here on the screen, but fantasywritingprompts.com is where we did the final prompt of today's episode. Luna is mad that Zelda's getting attention. We also have a fantasy writing prompts book called 100 Fantasy Writing Prompts. You can just find it under my pen name, which is Michael D'Angelo. We've got 2 TikTok channels that you can check out. At Weird Witch Wands is where you can find all of the nerdy couture stuff that Rhianna develops. And we've got at Tales of Tellest, where you can find our newest reporter.
What? No, Luna.
And we got 2 video websites that you should check out. At World of Tellest on YouTube is where you can find all of our videos from now until the end of time. But twitch.tv/thattellestguy is the only place where you can come chat with us live, force us to hydrate, all that good stuff. And it's just a good time. You'll earn some quest coins and have a good old time listening to us make up stuff.
We love making up stuff.
But that's going to be it for today. We're going to wrap things up, and I will see you tomorrow for map making. But until then, until next time, we'll miss you.